I got my first software developer job 3.5 years ago, and here's my salary progression. For context, I don't have a computer science degree, I didn't go to a boot camp, but I actually learned how to code on my own in 2020. I made this video talking all about that, which I highly recommend you watch. Anyway, I am a mobile app developer and I build Android and iOS apps using a cross-platform framework called Flutter. At my first job, I worked at a pre-seed startup which paid me $0 because they didn't have any, but they paid me in equity, which is still worth $0. But I used them as a reference to get my next job, which was very valuable. At my second developer job, I worked at another startup, but these guys had money, but also not so much because they only paid me $26 an hour, which is, I believe, $50,000 a year. Unfortunately, I only lasted 2 months at that job. I also made this video talking about that experience. Before I talk about my next job, I want to talk about this crazy phenomenon that I'm seeing online. It looks like a lot of recent graduates, computer science graduates, and a lot of young developers, they are expecting to get $100,000 job, $200,000 jobs straight out of college with no experience. I am not saying you can't get these jobs, but you have to be realistic. This is not 2021, 2022 when the tech market was hot and every company was throwing money at us. This is 2025. But if you are being realistic, your first job is not going to be one of those crazy influencer jobs that you see on social media. You know, it is a different game, and I don't think that aiming for a six-figure job is kind of a good strategy. My advice is get the first job you can get. Have a professional experience on your resume first, and then you can job hop. Anyway, my third developer job was at a national bank. It was a 6-month contract to hire, and they paid me $41.5 an hour. Anyway, it came up to $80,000 a year. I really liked that job. It was easy, smooth, but the problem was $80,000 a year in 2022 was on the lower end. This was actually my last job, and the job that I have right now, I've been here for 2 years and some change, but I'm making somewhere between 100 to 150. As you can see, this is nowhere near the $300, $400, $500,000 jobs that every other influencer has. Compared to them, I am underpaid, but in reality, I am not. I live in Midwest America. I used to live in Minnesota. I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and making this much at the age of 31 in Nashville, Tennessee is considered a little bit on the higher end. When comparing salaries, you always have to keep in mind the area and the cost of living. For example, Nashville is a lot cheaper than New York City, Silicon Valley, the Bay Area, and is definitely a lot cheaper than Seattle, Washington. Doing some napkin math, it looks like $100,000 in Tennessee is equal to $200,000 in one of those high cost of living areas. Before I let you go, I just want to emphasize that your first job, just take whatever you can get. You want something professional looking on your resume. You want an actual work experience on your resume. So take what you can get and level up from there. Anyway, that is all I have for today. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.